Hi everyone, my name is David Kelly. I'm the Program Director for the eLearning Guild, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to another Twist Conversation. Today I'm pleased to welcome Brian Savoie from RAPS, and we're going to be talking about AI and e-learning. Welcome, Brian.
Hi, how are you doing, David?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for joining me this afternoon. Can you take a few minutes and introduce yourself to our viewers?
Yeah, absolutely. My name is Brian Savoie. I'm in the D.C. metropolitan area in Rockville, Maryland, actually. I am the Director of Learning Technology for RAPS. RAPS is an organization in the D.C. area, but we've got an international focus, and we provide education and training for regulatory professionals within medical device and pharmaceutical organizations who need to understand international regulations from the FDA and other international agencies.
Excellent. And I know you're interested in e-learning and you're doing a lot of work in gamification and things of that sort, and you're going to be doing a session at DevLearn exploring AI. And I know that can be a pretty complicated and technical concept. Can you give me just a Reader's Digest foundational level of understanding of what is AI in your world? What do you think? How would you define AI?
Well, AI in our world, it's artificial intelligence. But as far as what a layman's perspective of AI is, I think that a lot of folks know AI from the movies. We've seen things like Terminator, where the Skynet AI comes out and takes over the world, and even the movie AI by Steven Spielberg, where there's a small little boy who is kind of like Pinocchio and mimics human emotions and human actions, and in many ways that's kind of what we're looking at here. It's how can we have a participatory e-learning experience where the computer seems to mimic human responses that we would like to see, and how can we do this in a simple way using some of the tools that are already available to us?
So when we're putting it in the context of e-learning, I mean, like you described, I think of AI and I think of very, very complex and deep branching of different types of decision-making abilities that a computer can do. What kind of decisions do you see AI playing in the context of an e-learning course, your average e-learning course?
Well, you can really start from anything that is entirely simple to things that are very complex. Now, here, let's just go through how it's used in full game development. In full game development, the AI will learn based on how you are playing the game and improve based on how you improve. Now, in any learning course, do we need to go to that level of depth and complexity? In some cases, we may. In some cases, certain simulations may actually demand that we have decisions that are occurring that are learning based on what you're doing. But for many online courses that can utilize AI or can benefit or increase the engagement of the students, going into complex modeling isn't all that necessary. But to get to your question, as far as what types of decisions can occur, if you're talking about a scenario where you have a player character who's your student and a few non-player characters, you can add aspects where random choice is involved. So where your non-player characters are making choices randomly out of a set of 4 or 5 choices. You could also add logical choice. So your non-player character is going to make a series of choices based on attributes that your player character has or goes about. So if your player character is walking through a virtual warehouse and looks at objects 1, 3, and 4, but doesn't look at object 2, then the AI can respond to that. And how would it respond to it? even in our basic rapid development tools that we have now, you're able to set variable definitions. And through the use of variable definitions, you can have the AI learn quite a bit about what your player character or your student is doing.
And that brings me to my next question, because you mentioned one of the things that might have surprised some people. You mentioned talking about AI in simplistic terms with tools you already have. And I would think AI is a very complicated concept that you need to be very technical in terms of implementing. So can you give me an example of how there's a simplified manner in which that you can use AI concepts and the types of tools and technologies that can enable us to do that?
Well, I mean, just to let everybody know, I mean, AI has been around for a really long time. When I thought about using AI concepts in e-learning, the reason why I thought about doing this, I was actually, I was at home and I was thinking about a challenge that we had here in the office, and it was increasing the engagement for our distance learning certification courses. We were having a really hard time getting folks who were taking the distance learning versions of our certification courses engaged, and they were all over the world. Folks who were taking this, they weren't just in one city, so we wanted to figure out how to build, that cohort sense. And I thought back to a game that I had played in the 1980s on an Apple IIe. Okay, and I was thinking, okay, they were using AI in that game. Okay, this was, 128K system. Okay, we have more memory in a memory stick than was used to power that whole computer and to run that game. So my thought was, we've got more power in our rapid development tools than we're taking advantage of. So in this game, which was the off-the-shelf version of Jeopardy, all that they were doing was that AI was just messing with or utilizing the skills of timing and choice. Now, some of that was random choice, but a lot of it was, choices based on variable definitions. And what they were doing was, you were playing against these simulated characters to increase engagement. That's the reason why a 1980s version of Jeopardy utilized it. That's why we're using it today. So a lot of what we're doing is utilizing the same the same programming techniques that were used back in the 1980s to drive engagement for our game simulations today.
I know you're going to be going into this in greater detail at your session at DevLearn, and it sounds like there's a lot of rich application possibilities associated with this approach that you're talking about. If I'm going to be attending DevLearn and coming to your session, can you give me an idea of what I can expect from that experience?
Absolutely, absolutely. We're going to have a lot of fun in the session. Okay, we're going to expect during the session to be surprised. It's going to be a combination of we'll definitely do a demo of the certification game that we did, but we're really going to focus on looking at these simple AI techniques that you can apply in your in your courses. And the way that we're going to do that is by kind of combining the aspects of a magic show in order to do this. So it's going to be very engaging. We're going to kind of go through those techniques in real time in that room, so that you can see and attendees can see exactly how engaging these techniques can be.
Well, that sounds really interesting. It sounds like a different approach that would really resonate with people. It sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun, as you said.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody out in Las Vegas in 6 weeks.
Excellent. 6 weeks, yeah, it's coming up close. Well, if you want to learn more about the session that Brian was describing, or about any of the sessions that are going to be taking place in Las Vegas this October, visit our website, devlearn14.com. The DevLearn 14 Conference and Expo takes place October 29th through 31st at the Bellagio Hotel in Las Vegas. You can learn more about Brian's session or any of the concurrent sessions or any of the keynote sessions, including our featured keynote, Neil deGrasse Tyson. The conference takes place October 29th through 31st, with additional pre-conference activities taking place on the 28th and 29th. So more information available on our website, devlearn14.com. Brian, I want to thank you so much for talking AI with me this afternoon.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for inviting me, David.
Thank you. We'll see you in Las Vegas, and we'll see you in Las Vegas or next time here on Twist Conversations. Take care, everybody. Have a great day.